Hey, guys.
Hey, Billy.
Hey, Billy.
Hey, Izzy. What are you doing here?
Just hanging out.
Cool.
Never know really how this works.
Man, I have so much today.
Do you?
Well, no, not really.
That's not a great welcome for Izzy. What are you doing here?
Well, it's just like every day there's different people here. I never know who's going to be here anymore.
Yeah. I was reminded that I'm going to be on the rest of this week on Monday when I was listening to whomever was here.
Did you have plans?
No. I just
that's good.
I knew I had it. I just didn't actually write it on my calendar. So it's one of those things where you have to remind yourself.
Do you normally have plans like early in the day? Like, is there something that we could have possibly been interrupting?
Gym.
I mean, if I don't have to work during the day, I like to work out and get it over with early.
Oh, please.
And then
get it over with.
maybe
It's like the
like
highlight of your day is working out.
It really isn't. It really isn't. Like, I like it more than other people do because I'm at a point where it, doesn't kill me to work out. But I don't love it.
You're just bored.
Don't rub it in, all right?
I know,
We
for
get
real.
it. Jeez.
Oh.
I mean, it's the first thing that he asked me, and now I'm rubbing it in.
I have warm water to drink. I don't have time to do the show. Oh.
Room temp.
Please. Are you still doing racquetball? Weren't you doing racquetball for a little
I was
bit?
doing racquetball for a hot minute, but now I'm not anymore. I don't know. There was something wrong with my shoulder, and then I stopped for a while, and then I just never got back into it.
So what are you doing? How do you stimulate your
Football, flag football season's back, baby. It's starting pretty soon. I got a tournament in Denver in the second week of September. Very excited.
Wow. Oh, Mike, you missed it when you were gone. Izzy told us he has a tournament here in the beach, and we said that we were going to have a big group go out to watch him play. I put it on the calendar.
It's 1 week of our games. October 6th,
Well,
we're playing them here at Flamingo, and then doing the after party here at Cleveland.
October 6th, it's going to be like Hurricanes themed or green and orange themed. That way, if you're not a Canes
Billy's
fan,
definitely going.
But I've booked a rock band for a backyard.
Oh my
It's going to be fun. You're all
Backyard
invited.
rock
So save it out.
Who's
Save
the band?
date.
I'm saving it.
It's actually Remy's, the band that played at Jay Wakefield.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now,
So
I just want to be sure because normally invites do not extend to me when it comes to the
No.
show.
You could just play a CD, right?
This does include me. All right, just
This
checking.
includes you. You're CC'd,
Just checking.
man. Yeah, I haven't sent out the invites, but
Wait, what day of the week is that?
it's going to be Friday night.
Oh, Friday night.
So I'm supposed to go to your party and then play a football game on Saturday.
You don't have
Yeah.
to drink. You don't have to drink.
What's your pregame routine?
Wake up.
Oh, all right.
No, drink a lot of water.
Nothing special the day before?
Certainly, nothing special the day
No.
before.
How much stretching do you do before?
Before, not a whole lot. I do got to do a lot of running. I don't do a whole lot of stretching before. You're supposed to do the stretching after, which I also don't do.
Yeah, that
You're
reminds
such a
me.
rebel.
Yeah, did you see Hard Knocks last night? Because offensive line coach Bob Wiley made a very good point about stretching.
What did he say?
He said in World War I, World War II, you think those soldiers were worried about stretching before they ran across the beaches of Normandy? Oh, wait, I can't run across this beach. I got to stretch. And those boys won 2 world wars. He made me think.
Wait.
Were there a lot of people that fought in
wait,
both?
Wait.
And this was an NFL coach saying to his players.
He's saying that they did stop and stretch?
No,
they
they
didn't.
didn't.
That they did not.
He's like,
No.
yeah, you think they stopped to stretch before they stormed Normandy?
Wow.
And they
that's
won 2
terrible
world
advice.
wars. Also, this is coming from Bob Wiley, because if you want to Google search what he looks like, go ahead and do it, because what a treat. This guy's become one of the breakout stars of a Hard Knock season. Huge bounce back. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Browns fan. Chris, you're watching this independently. You're not a Browns fan at all. This has been a really good season of Hard Knocks.
I've been into it. I've been, getting a little tired of Jarvis Landry and all his shenanigans. But other than that, it's been really entertaining.
Oh, like, Izzy, you've been covering sports for a long time. Are you just seeing the picture of Bob Wiley right now?
Yeah. This guy has he has never touched his toes in his life.
He definitely does not wake up and work out like you do.
This man.
His gut is pretty legendary. There's already a viral clip because of Hard Knocks last night. It's not even the World War I and World War II stretching clip. It's him saying, "Set hut," and his gut is moving in unison, totally synchronized with the set hut. It's hypnotic.
It's going to be a
he's
lot
true
of pulled
character.
muscles in that team if he's leading the stretches. Wow.
I know that you're usually on the basketball beat and you're a national personality. But is this the Jarvis Landry that you knew in any sort of covering of the Miami Dolphins? Because what Chris is telling me is that he's turning it on for the cameras, it would seem to be that way because I never knew Jarvis Landry to be this kind of dude.
So would it ruin your opinion of me and my professional history if I told you I've never spoken to Jarvis Landry, nor have I been within earshot of Jarvis Landry in a locker room?
It would.
It would?
It would.
Good.
It would.
Good. And you didn't hear that.
It's so obvious that he's putting it on for the camera. He literally got into a scuffle in practice, and beforehand, he was on one knee talking to other players. He's like, this guy needs to get whooped. Sometimes you just need to get whooped. And then 5 seconds later, what's he doing? He set it up there. It was like a scene in a movie. There was a setup, and then there was the actual fight.
But there wasn't anything about him here that made, like, I thought this is who he is. Like, when I see the type of personality he has on the field where he gets angry and he's volatile, and it just seems like, this would be the personality he would have when he turns on the camera. But have I ever actually spoken to him? Nope.
Well, neither have I. Never
just form the opinion and stick with it.
Never read that.
Yeah. Actually, I need to ask Stugotz this later. And again, this is how I have no idea how this works. I was asked to come do the show. I said, of course I'll do the local hour. I assumed I'm working with Stugotz. Ghost Town. But we'll figure that out when it comes to it. But one thing I need to ask him is how I back off of a take. Because
easy.
I dove in on Baker Mayfield being a bust, and I'm starting to get a little scared about this.
Stick with it.
I think he might be average.
No, easy to do.
Yeah.
Well, that was the take. Baker Mayfield's a bust.
Yeah.
This is what you do.
Okay.
If you make a mess over here, what you do is you just make a bigger mess over here, and then people forget about that small mess. So you just need to come up with another take, or like 2 or 3 other takes, and
Does
then
it
people
have to
just
do with
focus
the
on
Browns
that.
or any other football
Anything.
team?
It doesn't matter.
He's talking about his specific Baker take, though.
No, that's what I'm saying.
What
is
if
you that's never going to stick to you. Don't worry about that. People don't remember those things. You just need to come and you just need to start saying all these other outrageous things here, there, boom, 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 and you start throwing things against the wall and you see what sticks. And then by the time something sticks, people have forgotten about Baker because you've made like 10 other bad takes. Yeah. Very easy.
I'll never forget your Baker take.
I mean,
how could you? This guy does seem a little too cool to be good at that position. He seems too likable, too fun, too full of personality.
He's already got underwear ads.
I'm already getting tired.
You don't think he's likable?
I saw the video of him pretending to be a coach, and I was like, come on.
My favorite video of him is him running from the cops, though.
That's way too soon.
Too soon.
You clearly
now
hate
you're
Baker
digging the whole
Mayfield.
dick. You're digging it deeper. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're making it worse.
I'm digging the dig deeper.
Yeah.
Izzy, did you see any of the response from last week? You were a big hit last week.
You know, I was so confused as to how to handle that. I didn't know if people were being sarcastic. I didn't know if not terrible should be accepted as a compliment.
Terrible is okay.
Not terrible is a good one.
Yeah. I saw a couple polls with a substantial amount of votes. I like favorite fill-in the last couple weeks, and you were up there. And I think a poll, like, you can't be sarcastic on a poll.
Favorite fill-in. It's like ranking your best minor league teams, your favorite minor league teams.
Speaking of minor league teams, did you watch the Marlins-Yankees last night? It was a late one.
I don't get it. It's insulting.
That's supposed to be a minor league team.
It was a late one. I got home from my softball game at like 11:45, and I saw the end of it.
I did not. I did see my boy Giancarlo Stanton was 2 for 6. Do you know where I've seen and hung out, not really hung out, but sort of waved and said hello to him in a party atmosphere?
You hung
before?
out with him. You partied with Giancarlo Stanton.
Did he wave back?
Was it an action?
He did. No, he did.
All right, so your best friend is with Giancarlo Stanton.
I kind of did.
Your boys.
I kind of pulled one of these moves where I just kind of looked at him to see when he looked back if he would recognize me, and he did.
Of course,
because he's your best.
You guys didn't wave though. It wasn't a wave. It was like a head nod or like a
it was like a full wave with saying of my name and everything.
Wait.
He said your name?
He said your name?
Yeah.
Giancarlo Stanton said your name to you?
Crazy. Yeah.
Did he say Israel or Izzy?
Izzy.
What? He said Izzy to you?
Chris, you know where it was? Chris, you know where it was?
Where?
At 11.
What? 11? How did you even hear him?
How did you get in?
How did you hear him?
You were partying with Giancarlo
At
Stanton.
11?
Near Giancarlo
I've never
Stanton.
even been.
In the vicinity of Giancarlo.
You've never been to 11?
I've never been to 11.
Not surprising.
You gotta come with me. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah? Is Giancarlo going to be there today? Tomorrow?
I don't
getting
know.
out of town. We should have
that's
last
a good point.
night.
He should.
Oh, man. Missed opportunity.
How was the reception at Giancarlo last night? That was a big deal headed into it. I don't know how many Marlins fans were actually there. I didn't watch any games ever this season. So I don't know how it was received, but a lot of people were talking about the reception as if it would be some sort of polarizing thing. Right. There's no shot Giancarlo Stanton getting booed, right. But I was hoping for Marlins fans to turn out and it be like a really big deal, a big thank you.
I was watching it on TV. It was a little underwhelming for me. I did see a clip later on Twitter of the Yankees feed, and it seemed like they did a better job of surveying the crowd. It seemed like the Marlins broadcast was like, let's not show the crowd because there's so many Yankee fans here. Let's just show Stanton, and it was very underwhelming.
He's their MVP. Like, he was the MVP last year. They should celebrate him.
Well, they played a video in between innings, and then he got like so it's like 26,000 people. I'm assuming, I don't know, that the majority were Yankees fans, just because that's how, when the Yankees are here, the Mets are here, the Cubs are here. That's how it happens. Yep. But, he got a nice little ovation before his at-bat. He did like the thing where he waved to the crowd, and then they played a video for him in between innings. He did like another hat tip, and then that was it. And then they did the
first at-bat a strikeout?
No, he got a hit. Okay. He got a hit, but they did do that trick where they just threw junk outside corner. He struck out a couple times.
He seemed to be touched by it before the game. He was praising his time here. After the game, he said it's a moment, like the reception's a moment he'll never forget in his career. So
he was probably looking for you, Izzy. Like, he's probably sad that you weren't there.
It was sad you couldn't share that moment with him. Why was it better on the Yes Network?
I don't know. I just was watching it live on the Marlins broadcast, and I was underwhelmed. And then I saw a clip on Twitter, and I was like, wow, that seemed better on their feed. I have no idea why.
Was Jeets there?
Jeets was there because I saw a 5-minute interview he did with Yes, and he was out. He was like, he was in the in the box, but like not on the inside part, like on the seat part.
Wasn't
he was next to Michael Hill.
It's gotta be weird.
Weird for him. Why? Because they're playing the Yankees?
Yeah.
He just blew off their like 20th anniversary of the 1998 championship because it was his daughter's first birthday, so they threw a party for her and he didn't go.
But like the guy he just traded, he just traded the MVP and he comes back and he's just like, hey, everybody. Like, isn't that a little awkward?
It's the whole thing with him and the Yankees is kind of weird because when they went to New York the first time, I don't think he made that trip. But he seems to be like, he's very involved in the day-to-day stuff, but he's like avoiding the Yankees for whatever reason.
Because he doesn't want to make it about him.
Yeah, and also, this is sort of commonplace in European soccer. If you score a goal against your former team, you don't celebrate. You sort of approach those things with sort of class. I'd imagine he'd be out there because Derek Jeter's start here in Miami isn't necessarily a popular start, and that's actually a stadium full of Yankees fans or mostly Yankee fans. That's a winning scenario, one of few for Derek Jeter. I'd put my face all out there. Is the reason that the Yes broadcast showed more Marlins fans the reason that maybe there's some sort of directive from the Marlins not to show all the Yankee fans celebrating in the stands?
I'm not sure.
I know when I think of Derek Jeter, I think of European football.
Was that snobby, just bringing that up? Well, there's just,
I don't
you're
think
not
that's
supposed
exactly
to celebrate.
What Jeter's thinking of. He's like, oh no, let me play it like the Euros do in soccer and not celebrate.
Wait. So let's just, I don't want to go too far back, but so like, you saw him from afar.
Right.
And then you were like waiting for him to look at you.
So, alright, so there's this area up top with some of the
You guys were in
tables.
the VIP.
You
Let's
were in the
start there.
VIP.
You guys were in the
There's a VIP area.
Do you never get into VIP?
Do you just walk
you had
in there and get
table? How much
VIP?
did that cost? Probably thousands.
I mean, it didn't cost
But
me
Giancarlo paid for it. Giancarlo paid for the table.
Giancarlo didn't pay for it.
Who pays for these things?
Well, you guys are celebrities, so it's just all comp. You live that comp life.
Listen, Billy, if you don't ask these questions, you never really have to know the answer. As long as the answer is not you, then you're not paying for it. That's all that matters. He was coming up around behind me, and I was with a couple of friends who actually were from New York, who I'd never hung out with, so this was impressive for them.
When was
Aaron
this?
Judge.
This was
When
around
this?
Art Basel last year.
Oh, so he was already a Yankee? Is this when he was like just
No.
traded
It was
and he was
before,
celebrating?
It's funny. It was like the day before he got traded. The day before
He knew something
got
was up.
traded.
So it's your fault.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Were the friends from New York Brian Cashman
Yeah.
and the Steinbrenners?
No. But the next day they were texting me like crazy and say, "Hey, we hung out with a Yankee."
Wow, you were there the night that he found out that didn't he go and he celebrated in that place with like the gold dinosaur bones also? Were you
Faena?
there? Yeah, I read that in the article. Well, yeah, I think you.
How do you pronounce Faena? You're probably there
You're in that
constantly.
scene.
Never
Faena? I always figured it was Faena.
Faena?
Is it Faena?
There's an A before the E.
We're cutting you off. I'm sorry. Go back to your story. So he came around.
Oh yeah, he came around on the left side, and I just kind of pulled one of these. I was like, well, I know he's going to be close enough to see me. And it was late in the night. It was pretty late.
Yeah.
I think he was leaving. So
10:30,
Like,
11,
11.
probably. Yeah,
It's really not a gold dinosaur. It's a gold woolly mammoth. Does a woolly mammoth count as a dinosaur? It was a prehistoric creature.
And so I turned to my
What
left.
makes something prehistoric, by the way? Because it's history.
Oh, here we go.
So it's prehistory?
Wow, you just blew my mind a little bit. Yeah. How could it be prehistory if we know about it?
Yeah. Sorry. Back to Izzy. Back to you. Sorry.
And I kind of decided if I was going to make eye contact or not. I'd
How
let
close?
That decide.
Arm length? 2 arms? 3 arms?
I'd say about the distance from me to you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So that's
All
probably
right.
like more like 5 or 6 arms, maybe 7.
Yeah.
And just kind of, he was leaving for the night, clearly feeling good. He probably just found out he got traded to the Yankees.
Maybe.
Looked and kind of had a half smile on his face, made eye contact with me, and just was like, "Hey, Izzy," and I was just like.
And you didn't go over and like dap him up or anything?
Yeah, it was too far. He was
my
walking,
God. You
one of
played
those
it better.
deals.
You played it cool.
Yeah.
Good move by you.
Wait, did he come up to you? Or
No.
you had to-
It was definitely a drive-by. Definitely.
And he just said, "Hey, Izzy." What'd you say back? What'd you say back?
And I just
He probably said yo, because yo's cooler than hey.
And then I was shocked.
Did you call him G? What'd you call him? What were you
That's
wearing?
the play.
What was he
G's
wearing?
the play.
Yeah.
Tell me, what were you wearing?
I have a picture of what I was wearing that night, so I'd have to
Really?
go back and look.
What a
I was actually
Stand.
wondering.
Is he in the picture?
He's no.
What was he
He's
wearing?
on the picture. I don't remember.
But when you're at 11, is it like jeans and a tee, or do you? Because like when I go to a club, I gotta wear a.
Were you wearing a hat? Was he wearing a hat? I couldn't get
in.
him wearing a hat
You should
or a
call-
t-shirt.
Do you call him Mike just because you guys go that far back?
No.
You wear t-shirts when you go out.
I do. For
You
the
can
most
get in
part,
with t-shirts.
For the most part.
I
or
couldn't
like
get in
a
with t-shirts.
short sleeve button down if it's a good one.
How often do you wear?
How many buttons do you unbutton on it?
I don't count, just whatever looks natural.
Yeah, that's the move.
So
That's the move.
one buttoned up.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're friends with Stan.
You are.
It's your boy.
I hung out with Michael Irvin there once.
Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Let's talk about buying a home for a minute. Because of rising interest rates, there's a lot of unpredictability when it comes to buying a home these days. It's causing a lot of anxiety and stress for a lot of people. Well, our friends at Quicken Loans are doing something about that. They're calling it the power buying process. Here's how it works. Quicken Loans will verify your income, your assets, and credit in less than 24 hours to give you a verified approval. That gives you the strength of a cash buyer. Then once you're verified, you qualify for their all-new exclusive Rate Shield approval. This is very cool here. First, they'll lock your rate up for 90 days while you shop. Now, here's the best part. If rates go up, your rates stay the same. But if rates go down, your rate also drops. Either way, you win. It's the kind of thinking you'd expect from America's largest mortgage lender. To get started, simple. Go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz. Rate Shield approval. Only valid on certain 30-year purchase transactions. Additional conditions or exclusions may apply based on Quicken Loans data in comparison to public data records. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
Dan Le Batard.
I've been watching this show about swords where they make swords out of like junkyard material on the History Channel. I'm hoping there's some new episodes of that I could see on demand. That would be nice. Forged in Fire, it's called.
Stugotz.
They give you like a random thing and you have 3 hours and you need to forge that piece of metal, whether it's like a spring from a truck or like just a random piece of like tractor. And you need to get that into like part of a blade that they give you. So then, after that, they eliminate the person that hasn't done that the best. There's 4 people when you start. And then the next round, you need to give it a handle, and then they eliminate someone from there. And then, after 5 days, you have 3 tests, and they come back, and it's more like strength tests and stuff. And then they choose the Forged in Fire champion. $10,000.
Whoa.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on the ticket.
I feel it in the air. It's football time. It is so close to football time. If you're a Dolphins fan, I don't know exactly how excited you can be. As a Browns fan, I'm excited. But I think as an entire community can sort of rally around what is going to be, what figures to be, another exciting season for the Miami Hurricanes.
That's right.
I'm super excited about it because I think they're going to be good. They were good last year. Another step in the right direction, another year of development under Mark Richt's system, more depth, more of these young kids that were recruited, developing a little bit more. There's all sorts of reasons that I've gone into sort of ad nauseum in this offseason about why I'm excited. But I also want to sort of address the concerns of why they might not be as good.
Before that, when was the last time they were in the top 10 in the preseason?
I think 2004.
I mean, come on. That's pretty impressive. If you're not excited about this season with Miami Hurricanes, you're not going to be excited about a season.
Right. So the counterpoint to my enthusiasm is they do this every time. They get you excited. You think that they're back, and they end up not being back. But it hasn't quite been this sort of scenario where everyone thinks that they're going to be good. They're top 10 in every preseason ranking. They have a marquee matchup to kick off the season against another top 25 team in LSU, which, by the way, LSU, they've got all sorts of problems.
Is that game here?
That game's in Dallas. It's a neutral site game. I'm actually going over there, so it's essentially a home game because I'm going to be that ferocious because of that energy.
Makes sense.
I've already ordered oversized green and orange foam cowboy hats.
I figured.
Yeah, sorry to the people that are sitting behind me for this game because I'm going to rock that the entire time. I may have to get it shipped over there because it's kind of a weird carry-on situation.
You're going all in on this first game.
Yeah.
And it's LSU on a neutral field. If they lose this first game, that changes everything for you, doesn't it? Then it just becomes another moving up year instead of the year.
It changes nothing. It's going to change nothing.
I would I'd be pretty devastated, honestly, because my expectations for the season is that they're better than a
you
team
would look
like
ridiculous in your giant
LSU.
hat.
I would throw that hat away immediately if that game started going south. But yeah, I expect them to be better than LSU. Everyone should be. Everyone does expect them to be better than LSU. LSU is ranked 25th in the nation. Miami Hurricanes are ranked number 8. Now, there's a lot of talent on that LSU side, but there's also, look, for entertainment purposes, I'm taking the Miami Hurricanes quite largely in this game. And it's not even so much a bet on the Miami Hurricanes, even though, look, Malik Rozier's looked amazing in camp. He's fought off some real competition. The running back situation's incredible. There's no one in that backfield that runs below a 4.4. Amon Richards is healthy. You've solved the depth issues at tight ends, even saying that you've lost Michael Irvin II, who was slated to be the number 1 tight end. He wasn't really the most talented guy on the roster. We saw how that worked out last year. Michael Irvin II isn't exactly Michael Irvin I, okay? So you have a two-headed monster in freshmen, Brevin Jordan and Will Mallory. The offensive line is getting shored up, and there are good reports coming out of camp. There are 3, according to the Canes Insight podcast, who spoke to an NFC scout. There are 3 first-round draft picks at DN in Rousseau.
Didn't they have 3
Jackson.
first-round picks every year under Al Golden?
Yes. No. Not at all. Not at all. This isn't.
They had more than you expected.
Close, though. To his point, Al Golden did draft some guys that they didn't really perform.
They
with
also
in
didn't
school.
coach him up, and Golden, like Shannon, had a couple of players that weren't drafted high or even went undrafted because he couldn't coach them up, and they are studs on the next level.
I guess what I'm asking is, so last year they finished 13, and finishing 13 after as high as they went, after that Notre Dame win, felt like a letdown.
I understand that. Actually, I want to play this sound because I think you're approaching it the way that Trevor Maddich from ESPN sort of approaches it. And this is a totally fine take. It does not get me upset at all.
Nah. Izzy sounds like a hater, bro.
Yesterday, the AP preseason poll was released. The top 10 came out. Which one of the top 10 do you believe is most susceptible to perhaps an early season stumble?
Miami is the hardest one that I can get my brain wrapped around, because I know their defense is national championship caliber. It is unbelievable that we talk about Clemson having the best group of defensive linemen in the nation. I think Miami has the best starting trio of linebackers in the nation in Zach McLeod, Michael Pinckney, and Shaq Quarterman. The question for me is the offense. They have outstanding skill people on the edges, but can they put together the offensive line pieces, and can the quarterback position become more accurate? And that'll need to happen if Miami is going to finish this season as a top 10 team competing for a playoff.
Can the quarterback position become more accurate?
Bro. You're so jelly. Like, you don't get it. It's a you thing. You don't understand. All these questions you have. 6-time national champions, bro. You don't get it.
Bro, you're a Panther.
You don't. No. I'm not a Panther. Get out of here. You're a hater. That's what you are. It should be at least 7 or 8 national championships, I think.
Okay.
How many do you have? How many do you have?
3.
3, please. I eat 3 national championships for breakfast. You. It's all about that you.
What Maddich said makes sense, and what Izzy said makes sense. Yeah, they ended the season poorly. They lost 3 straight games.
None of that makes sense. None of that makes sense. National championship this year, next year, we're back. The U is back. Back to where we were, back to where we always been. Actually, you know what? We're not back. We never went anywhere. We give everybody a chance. We haven't moved. We're here.
Still here.
We're still here. What?
This is how you do you talk.
That's right. That's right. That's how you do you talk. The you.
The players on this roster towards the end of the season in the ACC championship game, that wasn't the Miami Hurricanes. Malik Rozier wasn't really getting help. He didn't have a lot of weapons out there.
And the refs cheated. That's another thing. The refs always cheat. You know who else cheats? The NCAA. They hate us. The refs hate us. Everybody hates us. You know why? Because they ain't us. That's why they hate us. They're jealous. The you.
You had no Herndon. You had no Walton. You had no Richards.
I'm not saying that they're not good. What I'm saying is if.
How many wins? How many wins?
Out,
How many wins? How many wins?
10.
How many wins?
10.
10! Please.
10 again. Like if they're
10!
If
That's
it's a similar season
15.
to last year, are you just disappointed because it's another sort of stalled year? Or you think, hey, it's part of the process. You go 10 wins, national championship.
Oh, I'd be disappointed if they lost 3 games again.
That's impossible.
Yeah,
it's really impossible for them to lose 3. What are the 3? Name the 3. Name them right now, Izzy. What are the 3? Name them. What are the 3? Name them the 3. What are they?
LSU.
No.
FSU.
Dumb. By the way, it's just LS. They don't deserve that U.
You think they're going to lose to FSU?
I don't. I don't really know.
Just FS.
Do they play Clemson this year?
In the ACC championship.
Clemson's not going to get there.
Clemson's
Clemson's not going to get there, please.
Number 2, the top teams just all look the same to me. Isn't it just the same 3 out of 4, right?
What?
Georgia, Clemson,
Alabama, Clemson, Georgia.
Yeah.
They all look the same. Have you seen our unis this year? Have you seen our unis, bro?
The Panthers uniforms?
No, our unis. The U. Have you seen them? They made out of garbage from the ocean, bro. They're so dope.
That's right. I did read that. They are made out of garbage.
Our unis are trash.
It really is a great scenario to start the season for Miami because they're playing a team that has the name cachet. Like if they beat LSU, there's so many people people that don't know anything that's just an impressive win. When really, like Mike's saying, that's a beat up team. That's actually it's a winnable game more so than it would appear just based off the name.
Right. The bet that I'm making is largely just a bet against LSU. That team's a mess.
Is it at AT&T, by the way?
It's at Jerry World.
It becomes a bigger win if you win there.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
National TV.
Mm-hmm.
What Chris is saying is totally accurate. The name cachet beating number 25 LSU, a program that's recruited really, really well and has had disappointing results, but it's a marquee program in the nation. A program that, while the U was down, was up, and you envied. The last time we played them in a bowl game, I think it was a Chick-fil-A bowl, they beat us up, not just in the game, but in the tunnel. So they were swinging helmets and they beat us up. They were doing Miami Hurricanes things. They have a lot of talent out there, but they also have suspensions. They have injuries. They have arrests. They have turnover in the coaching staff. There's ambiguity in all sorts of positions when it comes to this. Yes, they have first-round talent at linebacker and at corner, but I think for the last few years, you've got no idea what you're getting out of that quarterback position. This is a good spot to be in for the Miami Hurricanes. Like Chris said, marquee program. You get a win over them, you're going to be looking impressive because it's LSU, and you won't have an entire season worth of Ed Orgeron probably getting fired if he loses this game. This is a game where his job is on the line. You'll have the results. If LSU loses this game, I think their season goes in the tank. So for that reason, I'm taking Miami. Not just because I think Miami is good, and I've outlined that numerous times, but I just don't think LSU is.
They're not good. They're great. They're great. Izzy, are they going to win? Here's something you guys aren't even mentioning. Turnover chain. You forget about that? Yeah. Turnover chain. Turnover chain. Turnover chain. There you.
Before the segment, Mike asked if I'm good to do U talk. And I knew that Mike just wanted to talk a lot about the U and give his perspective. And I believe everything you're saying. I don't know if it's true or not. I believe everything you said about the U and about LSU.
That's because it's a U thing and you don't understand.
This is how it's done. Mike gets to ramble on, and I just kind of fill in any gaps, and then you just do the comedy bit. It's perfect University of Miami talk.
Is your home an ADT home? Get ADT and help protect against break-ins, fire, and carbon monoxide. For a limited time, get ADT's lowest rate starting at just $28.99 a month from the most trusted name in home security. ADT is the first security company to help keep you safe at home and when you're on the go. Go to ADT.com/podcast to take advantage of ADT's lowest rate. With 36-month monitoring contract, early termination and installation fees apply. Excludes taxes and fees. Applies to traditional services only. Certain markets excluded. Licenses available at ADT.com.
Don Le Batard.
All right, we're going to see whether any of these here can crack Chuck Norris's top 10. Now, your favorite involves the Tyrannosaurus Rex. You want to do yours?
Stugotz.
Yeah, that Chuck Norris was chasing the Tyrannosaurus Rex. The Rex was not chasing the Jeep.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on the ticket.
I was devastated to learn that Izzy wasn't a Dolphin insider. It really... I thought you had your finger on the pulse of South Florida sports. I really did.
When?
Was your finger ever on the pulse of South Florida sports?
When did Jarvis get here? Jarvis Landry.
Jarvis Landry got here, 4 years ago, 3 years ago? Yeah, something. It was somewhere around that.
I was already at ESPN by the time that came around. I wasn't at the Herald.
I'm sorry.
Pardon me, Izzy.
I mean, how about this Landry? Didn't say a single word when he's here and won't shut up now that he's in Cleveland.
Thank you, Stugotz.
Hey, Stu.
Finally, someone said it.
Yeah.
There are sort of comments leaking from Dolphin camp that some people from the Dolphins sort of find it curious that all of a sudden this Jarvis Landry has come out when the cameras have also come out. Speaking of...
There's your answer.
Did you see how desperate Des White was? Des Bryant, I'm sorry, Des White. Woo! That's a fine. That's a fine. Des White was a former receiver, I believe, for the Chicago Bears. So Des Bryant was in Berea, the Browns' headquarters, and he was in this visit. And this Des Bryant, who all reports were he wasn't interested at all in the Cleveland Browns. When they were desperate for a receiver, he wouldn't even take a meeting with them. All of a sudden starts tweeting out, "Hey, John Dorsey, I'll see you this week." Because Hard Knocks and the team looks like they're going to at least be better, and looked like while Josh Gordon was out that they could use him. He makes a whole big show when he goes Browns headquarters, shakes everybody's hand in the building, is signing Browns helmets.
It's a real pro.
Get out of here. We don't need you. You didn't want to be here. We couldn't get a call back from you. And all of a sudden you see us on Hard Knocks and you want to be a part of this because you see Jarvis is getting all this time. Out of here, Des Bryant.
So you don't want him?
I don't want him at all. And on top of everything, to make things worse, he's washed. Totally washed.
Who's the guy who he would be replacing in your lineup currently?
Well, he's not better than Josh Gordon. Right. He's not better than Jarvis Landry. He's not better than Antonio Callaway.
Des Bryant's not better than Jarvis Landry?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Jarvis Landry is the third highest paid receiver in the league.
Mike, he had 119 catches for 220 yards.
And he's on the street.
And by the way, have you noticed Albert Wilson is now Jarvis Landry?
No.
Congratulations.
He's not Jarvis Landry.
That's 6 catches, 36 yards. I mean, that's Jarvis Landry right there.
Yeah, Jarvis Landry is now, I know you rattled off those sets, but now he's working with an offensive coordinator that put together that Steelers offense, that electrifying Steelers offense. And the way that they've used him in preseason is Jarvis Landry is going deep. Jarvis Landry isn't just doing a 3-yard button hook.
The cornerback going with him? Usually, probably.
He's getting separation, which is not really something that I expected from someone who's not known for their foot speed.
Guys, the real news from Hard Knocks last night.
What?
They have a team dog.
Yeah.
Did you guys see this thing?
They have an office dog, Moose, that just lives in the Browns training.
It's nobody's dog in particular. It's just the whole team's dog.
It has to be something.
Yeah, it lives in the office.
Okay.
He's got it's I don't know. It looks kind of like a lab. It's a little longer in the tooth.
Adorable.
Yeah.
It should be a bulldog.
No, it's not a bulldog. That's Swag, the official team mascot. Moose is the official office pet.
So what happens when they just go home for the night, though?
Yeah.
I don't know if someone's in charge of taking Moose
They better
home.
be, because that's mean.
But Moose has a doghouse there, and Moose just has free reign. He's in John Dorsey's office, who's the general manager of the Browns. He's basically in the biggest team meetings.
Is he friends with the mascot? I feel like there should be some tension there because one probably gets treated better than the other one. I mean, the other one just gets left behind in the offices overnight.
You're talking about Swag?
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what sort of tension there is. Moose looks a little bit older. He's got the psoriasis on the elbows. I'm not sure how much longer Moose has.
Did
quite
you
honestly.
know that by looking at it, or did they tell you it had psoriasis on the elbows?
I could tell what psoriasis on the elbows looked like, especially on a Labrador. It sticks out like a sore thumb. So I thought you had your finger on the pulse of South Florida sports. I was proven wrong.
No, just a corner of it.
Was there ever a time that you had your finger on South Florida sports' pulse?
Yeah, that was a little bit of time. Yeah.
Okay.
That was like maybe a 3 to 5 year span.
Oh, so are you familiar with Daryl Gardner and O.J. McDuffie?
I am familiar with Daryl Gardner. I'm familiar with O.J. McDuffie.
Daryl Gardner
played basketball at O.J. McDuffie's house.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
Did you really?
So
I did
cool.
too, by the way.
I heard it's a common thing. It's not really that special.
I played hoops at OJ's house once. Yes, once.
How'd you do?
Got swatted by Scottie Pippen.
Wait, what? Who else was there?
I mean, Scottie Pippen was there. Jason Taylor, I believe, was there.
What?
What were you doing?
What were you doing in that game?
You remember someone
Getting
wrote a
swatted.
story locally about it. Who was that? Was it you? No. Someone wrote a story about OJ's backyard basketball games.
Nope.
And I decided to it sounded cool, and I decided to work my way into those games. And so I just wanted to see what was going on back there. There was a lot going on there.
A lot of good basketball going on back there.
Yeah.
So there's actually, if you're a Dolphin fan, there's actually a really cool podcast.
Pippen was there.
Yeah, Pippen. Why'd you lead with O.J. McDuffie? I know it was a transition, but I thought that was the most impressive name drop, and then you got swatted by Scottie Pippen.
Jason Taylor, come on, during the league.
I don't know if JT played. When you were there, who was
I played. JT was there. Giancarlo was there. I played basketball against JT a few times. A couple times when he was under contract. I probably shouldn't have said that. But he also didn't really actually jump off of both feet ever. He was actually able to stay safe by never leaving the ground and still dominating everybody, even though he's not a
still jumped higher than Zach?
Stugotz, you got to put that in your Twitter bio. Got swatted by Scottie Pippen.
Okay. How do I do that?
Oh, man.
So if you're a Dolphin fan from that era, or you played basketball at O.J. McDuffie's house, there's this interesting podcast on the 5 Reasons Sports Network, Fish Tank, Dolphins Tales from the Deep, and it's hosted by O.J. McDuffie and Seth Levitt.
Yeah,
Seth Levitt, who was a Dolphins PR guy back when you had your finger on the pulse of South Florida sports. Yeah. And I had actually kind of heard about this story, but I never really got any sort of the details. And listen to this nuts story that O.J. McDuffie tells about an altercation he had with Daryl Gardner.
This is, I think, 2001. It's in August. We're in training camp. We're trying to get in shape, get ready for that first game of the season. And I look up, and Daryl Gardner's taking himself out of practice, out of the drill.
Tapping out.
And I'm like, Daryl, what's going on, man? He's like, you juice. I'm like, man, this is conditioning, man. Get back on the field. I was like, Daryl, man. And I see him walking towards me at this point. I'm like, what are you going to do? And I was thinking to myself, Seth, I'm like, all right, I'm the one that's popping off right here, but I know it's for the betterment of the team. And it's definitely better for him because, nobody said a word to him when he checked out.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, he's making his way towards me. I'm like, all right, what am I going to do? I'm a grown man, a bunch of alpha males out here. I'm not going to run from this dude.
Yeah.
So I stood my ground. All of a sudden, Seth, he comes up, man, with a 2-handed just drill shot in my chest. And I promise you, I must have fell back a whole first down, at least 10 yards, man.
Oh, man.
Needless to say, I was hot, irate. You know what I mean? First of all, Daryl's 6'5", 6'6", 300 pounds. At this point, I'm 5'10", 192, 193. So I was already at a disadvantage at that point anyways, but I wasn't going to back down. But at this point now, I'm not going to fist fight him either at this point. So what I do, Seth, I start making a beeline to the parking lot. I was headed to my car for one reason. I was headed to my car to get my gun. Man. And on my way out there, Derek Rogers came up beside me and said, Juice, man, calm down, Juice. Juice, you don't want to do this, Juice. It's okay, Juice. Just relax a little bit, The whole time I'm crying, so I'm mad, and I'm embarrassed.
So you literally went in tears.
It's literally in tears. And, I'm like, man, I'm gonna mess this dude up, man. I was just mad, man. I hadn't been that mad ever in my life. And so I got out there, I got out to the car. Derek and I were still talking, man. And you know what? I said, Derek, you're right. I'm not going to do this,
Thank God Derek was there.
At that point, man, I almost ruined everybody. I almost ruined a lot. It'd have been a hot mess. And, I grew up that day, Seth. So that was, it was a learning experience for me. And I grew up, and took a long time for me to even come to grips with the fact that I almost did that.
I would say manslaughter is what I'd classify as a hot mess.
Did he specify what year that was?
I'm sure we can find this out. There was I think 3 or 4 years.
Because they were pretty good a few years during the McDuffie years, right? They were a pretty decent team there. And, Yeah, I think if you look at the list of Dolphins screw ups over the years, this would have been pretty high on the list.
And
it would have ruined everything.
Yeah, as O.J. McDuffie said, but thankfully he grew up there. Thank you,
that
Derek
day.
Rogers, who saved a hot mess, which would have been, at the very least, O.J. McDuffie pulling a gun on a teammate at the team's facility.
I didn't know O.J. when he played, obviously, and just watching him, and he seemed like a professional. He seemed like hey, go get my 100 catches a year, keep the team together, don't create any wave situation, and, be a good pro. I would not expect this from him. But if you can get this kind of mad from football now, I'm probably wrong about him. He probably was more of a hothead than I'm giving him credit for.
Stugotz, you knew OJ post-1999, which is when we think this incident sort of took place.
Very surprised.
Really?
Just based on, I'm not going to sit here and claim to know OJ that well, but I know him a bit, right? I mean, I was his boss and I hired him. That is a shock. The fact that OJ has a gun, that OJ was going to get a gun, and OJ was thinking about using a gun, and Derek Rogers prevented that from happening.
O.J. McDuffie, we should say.
Yes,
the other
O.J.
O.J.,
McDuffie,
not so stunning.
That's so surprising.
Correct. Yes, very surprising news here.
Allegedly didn't use a gun, but it wouldn't be surprising if he had a gun. Right. And didn't he storm into a Vegas hotel room with guns trying to steal back his old stuff, which was a very clear sting operation? I'm talking about the juice.
We're off of McDuffie.
Yeah. This was 2001, by the way. 2001.
What, this incident?
Yeah, this incident was 2001. I just got a text.
Okay, but he finished playing in 2000.
Yeah, well.
He wasn't with the team. He said it was a year before he finished playing.
I have him 1993 to 2001. I'm just telling you, the guy who did that interview.
Okay, so this was set. Was your finger on the pulse of South Florida sports in 2001?
No, I was my second year on the Heat beat at the Palm Beach Post. So I had my finger on the pulse of Alonzo Mourning's kidney. That's about it.
So you're a Heat guy. And we haven't talked Heat with you.
Nope. What's there to talk?
Hell's going on with Wade? Stugotz, you've been on vacation and Dwayne Wade still ain't here.
It's amazing. What is he doing, Izzy? China, Miami, L.A.
I mean, he's living the Wade life is what he's doing.
He did. We can rule out L.A. because Wade said that
I never rule out LeBron. Ever. Yeah. Not with Dwayne. Nope. Ever.
Okay. Well, he said that if he plays basketball, it's with the Miami Heat. What's the holdup here? He knows what the Heat have to offer. Is he waiting for the Heat to clear more room?
I think that's the problem, is what they have to offer. And I think I was watching the 2016 Game 4 between the Hornets and the Heat, and just look at that team, and they had engaged Hassan Whiteside. They had Luol Deng, who could still give you. I mean, that series, he was great. They had a reliable Joe Johnson and Goran Dragic and Dwayne Wade. That was their starters. And then they had some of these guys that you're relying on now coming off the bench. And I think he knows that if he goes to that, he's talking about a 6th, 7th seed again. And what's the point of diving in and being, 100% in there? I'm just going to come back and, they'll pay me what they'll pay me. I'll still be their most important player, and it'll be another season just like the last quarter of last year was.
Don't they have 5 shooting guards already on the roster?
Too many.
He'd be the backup point guard behind Goran?
He would be their best player.
Right.
He was their best. He was their best player, which is probably why he doesn't want to get paid what they're offering, which is the mid-level.
But what can
have fun in China then?
Right.
Well, what can anybody else pay?
You know how that goes for you. I mean, honestly. I'm tired of what Dwayne Wade thinks he should be paid. I mean, he's 36 years old. He's, on a broken body. I mean, he's a shell of what he used to be. And every year this gets to, hey, this is home. This is where I want to be, Wade County, but you got to pay me. Get out of here. Go to China. Okay? See if they'll figure out a Wade County for you in China. Have fun with that. Are there counties in China?
He knows what they have to offer. He knows what it's going to be. He knows if it's his last year, exactly how it's going to play out. So why does he have to do it on their time? Do it on his time, whenever he wants to.
What do you guys think of Brendan Tobin trying to get Biscayne Boulevard called Dwayne Wade Boulevard?
Stupid.
Yes,
overrated boulevard.
Yes, there are counties in China. There are 1,408 counties in China.
You can take it off the poll.
Do any of them rhyme with Wade?
All right, let's
get on that, Roy.
Let's figure out a county in China for Wade.
What is your disdain for Dwayne Wade? It's been going on for several years now.
I don't know.
It's bizarre. He was their best player last year. It was such a great moment when he came back.
We were at that game, I think. It was the Jimmy V game. Yes.
It wasn't, but that was a moment.
Yeah.
It wasn't, okay, the Jimmy V game.
I don't know.
No one knows what you're referencing.
You know what? I mean, that was the game, the big game where he hit the game-winning shot. It was in overtime, I believe.
That was a game winner against the Sixers. It was a cool moment. It wasn't the game he returned in, but that moment was pretty cool, the game that he returned in. And here's what I don't understand about this Miami Heat season and where I'm a little frustrated. LeBron left the conference. Yeah. You have a young team in Philadelphia. They beat you in 5 games. But the first halves of those 5 games were incredible. Okay? I didn't feel like there was that much of a gulf between the Sixers and the Heat at that moment. Now, the Sixers obviously project to be better this season because they got young superstars, but I feel like you can still get them. I feel like you can even get Boston. They match up well and they play well against Boston. LeBron's not in this conference.
Izzy's face.
I mean, you're doing this already.
Well, no. Here's what I'm saying. They're obviously not at that level, but it's for the taking. Pat Riley can make an aggressive move, you would think, and get himself in that conversation where he can convince himself. LeBron's gone. It's not an open and shut.
Aggressively push Tyler Johnson via trade. Aggressively push Justice Winslow. Oh, wait, they don't trade Duke guys, so Justice Winslow's not going anywhere.
So there's nothing that can be done here to get in that conversation. I feel like the opportunity's there.
Man, you should stick to the Hurricanes.
They're number 1.
And number 8.